Hello and welcome to another episode of the renewed name of Match Review. For the older ones out there, it was Courtyard Club Call last season, but we're now branding it as Match Review. We're going to have a look at or recap the Wycombe Wanderers' first away game for County of the season on Saturday, the 9th of August, 2025. With me, I have obviously no Jimmy, but we do have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Obviously, the guys on Wednesday can decide on the random shit quiz which is which. But we've got Lauren, we've got Big Rolo, and we've got Steve. So first bits really, how's Big Rolo's summer been? Because we haven't heard or seen you really since the end of last season. How's your summer pre-season been so far, Rolo?
Been good, mate. New job, which I've started, which I'm enjoying. So no more working Saturdays, so no excuses. And yeah, it's been one of. I must admit, I kind of enjoyed the break, but I was, itching to get it back come the 1st of July. So yeah, it's been good. How about yourselves?
Yeah, not too bad. Big question. Everybody wants to know who's replaced Tanto.
No one yet. We have a couple in mind, but I do think we might need to wait until the transfer window shuts. Yeah, so I'm thinking, and I stress the word thinking. I'd like to maybe do Ethan Pye for that one. Benno, another one that we're considering. And one more, which I'm not going to tell you, but you'll have to wait and see if we go with that. So,
are you open for the players themselves to get in contact with you to put their hand up and say, "Look, I want to be a full-size live cutout that gets carried around at home and away matches," and
I mean, they can do. It's not a problem. There's no guarantees. I mean, it may, that may incur, medical help for them. You know what I mean? In terms of people might think they're mental doing that, but they are more than welcome to do that. And yeah, I think the only exception is probably Corey Adai, only just simply because of the size of it. I think even if we folded it in half, it was too big for people to see behind. So
he's probably probably chip in with the printing costs for you, and but it all goes to charity. Let's not forget that it's not something that you just do because you want to wander around or climb into bed with a life-size cardboard cut out of a player or anything like that. You actually, you raise a lot of money. Do you know how much you actually raised last season with Tanto going around?
Well, we've not actually finished it yet because we've not been able to get hold of Tanto at the moment. So we've still got to auction it off, but we were running around the £500 mark. Plus, we've got a couple of buckets in Our Ladies that are yet to be counted. So we've got money there, and then whatever we auction it off for. So the fact he's left, I think, might make it a bit difficult. So we might contact a few of the Charlton supporters as well to see if they fancy getting involved in the bidding. But yeah, we need to get hold of Tanto because we're looking to try and get hold of his boots from last season and his shirt for auction alongside it.
So yeah, same again. Any county players out there that wants to get involved, please get in contact with us. Because like I say, it all goes to charity, and it's a great thing. And same again, unless you have image rights, there'll be a lot of photos, a lot of fans coming up and seeing Rolo and getting a photo and donating a little bit of money to what was it, St. Anne's Hospice?
St. Anne's Hospice, yeah. So fantastic charity and somewhere that's very close to me and the family. So yeah, they're a fantastic organisation, and I know the club does a lot of work with them as well. So
brilliant. Right, let's sort of pull the plaster off this. Wycombe, early again, last away game of the season last year, if you don't include the playoffs, and then obviously the first away game of this year. A double header for Wanderers as well. I don't know if that's ever been done before in county's history, that we've had a Wanderers followed by a Wanderers. And I'm, even though, like I said, there's meant to be a bit of randomness to the league fixtures, I got a feeling if we had Wolves in our division, we'd end up with a trilogy of Wanderers. But Wycombe again, sun was shining. It was away days goal. I thought you couldn't really, get any better. Apart from the boys moaning that it cost £12.50 for burger and chips, but apart from that,
sun was hot though, wasn't it, Dan?
Yeah. Yeah, they were nice, but £12.50 for burger and chips once you got into the little bit outside the ground. So yeah, it weren't too bad. Apart from that, like I say, parking was easy. Approach, I find Wycombe's a bit of a weird one. It's no rivalry at all as such. It's really sort of mellow and nice natured, and the stewards are helpful, and it's like there's no sort of niggle or anything like that. In and out of the ground is nice. When we parked up, the chap that was doing the parking, you couldn't get away from him, was chatting about how much money Wycombe have spent, how much they've spent on players, that they've just laid a new pitch down. They've made the pitch actually wider than what it was last season, and really optimistic about everything Wycombe Wanderers and how the new owners are really spending money, not just on the team, but just actually training ground and things that, like I say, what County have done really, the facilities and stuff like that. So there's a lot of money, enthusiasm as well, going around. But yeah, so I was there. I know Steve was there. I know you two guys watched it in some foreign land on that. So let's get right into it. Starting 11. I got it wrong. I think I went for the same starting 11 as last week. Obviously, Mothers Hill got dropped out of the starting 11, and Joseph Aluru came in. Did obviously starting with you, Lauren, first. Was you surprised with that change, or were you again expecting the same starting 11?
Yeah, I kind of expected the same starting 11 because I didn't realise that Mosville kind of picked up a little niggle. I think it was he felt it a little bit after the match and then again in training. So it was more of a unexpected change, I think, on Dave's side as well as as our side. I expected it to look roughly similar though. So I wasn't majorly surprised at there only being one change.
Yeah, I think that same game was a bit weird because when you looked at the team sheet on, I think, X, that it had Mothers Hill on the subs bench, and then when you looked at the team sheet on Facebook, he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't there at all. So it was a little bit of a scratch in my head, but obviously you could see once you got into the stadium that he was warming up with the other lads. But same again, Charlie does like to bring extra players, doesn't he? Even if they're not being involved or they're returning from injury or something like that, he likes to bring them along on match days to get the warm-ups and the warm-downs involved with the lads and stuff. So it's one of them ones who's like, is he a sub? Don't know. But yeah.
That starting 11, it kind of didn't surprise me. We were chatting about on the coach on the way down. I went for the same as on the fan hub because kind of played safe. But on the way down, we were talking about, we said we could see, I wouldn't be surprised if Alohu came into the team because he wanted to move to that kind of back three, back five and get Dodgson and O'Keefe playing wing back. So it didn't shock me. We said it's something we thought he might do, but I didn't. I'd like to say I didn't go for it on fan hub, but I wasn't surprised to see it. But I didn't know that Mothers Hill was injured, so that was a surprise as well.
Yeah, Rolo, I mean, obviously while you were watching it was a bit of a weird one because start off the game, I couldn't work out if Aluru was playing like in the back three or he was playing right back at times. What sort of formation did it sort of come across to you watching it, Rolo?
So yeah, it definitely looks at the three at the back for me. He was obviously the right side of it, Aluru, and I actually think he was fantastic as well. I might say he was absolutely brilliant in there. He just, I mean, to be honest with you, I thought the game changed a bit when he came off from our perspective. So I was really impressed with him on that right side.
Yeah, I mean, obviously debut, but not just his debut. It's the first time he's actually played any minutes at all. He's not played any minutes in pre-season. I thought he looked a little bit rusty at times. His passing was a little bit wayward, but that was expected. It was something you would expect in a first pre-season game off him. You'd see glimpses of quality for sure, and you can see once he's up to fitness, he's going to be a massive part of what you do. He's strong, he's fast, he likes to stay on his feet as well. But yeah, I was really encouraged, but taken to a fact that this was the first time he's kicked a ball in a county shirt.
There was something very calm about him, though, wasn't there? He looked like he'd been here a while, and like you say, he's not played for a while, so you can kind of expect the odd mistake, but he just fitted in. I was really impressed with him. I thought, he's going to be a good player.
Yeah, I think, like I say, because he missed most of the back end of the season for Donny, didn't he? So this is his first game in probably 3 or 4 months. And like you say, it looked like it at points. I think with all the team, they sort of dropped off the cliff a little bit with fitness and levels and stuff like that. But same again, it's the second game of the season. So we shouldn't sort of be over dramatic or over clinical at this point of the season. It's definitely a work in progress. So it was a bit of a weird one for me, guys and gal. Sorry, because you felt
I'll be a guy. I don't mind that.
Yeah, guys is acceptable these days, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll take guys.
But it just felt more like a home game for us. We dominated. I thought the possession from kickoff. The home support was just non-existent. I thought, and it felt that we were just really in control of it for them first few sort of minutes. I mean, Steve, how obviously you were sat not far away from me, but sort of how did you sort of feel in that sort of stadium?
Yeah, exactly the same. It felt really comfortable. I felt like we were kind of playing most of the game in their half. Real kind of high line at the back, and it felt straight from the off, and You could see we're a threat from the beginning. I'm not sure what minute it was. Diamond did his Louis Barry-esque run down the left and then cutting on 2 players and put a shot away, and it went quite wide and over. But it kind of just set the tone. It just looked like we were in control. But very impressed.
Yeah, it was. We were very much front foot, weren't we, from the start of the game? I thought.
I don't know whether it was because I wasn't there in person, but the first sort of 3-4 minutes, I was a bit nervy. Obviously, they forced 3 corners in a row, pretty much, and I was like, I could see us crumbling. And it might have been different in the ground with.
They had a cracking, quite a quick start, didn't they, Lauren? Yeah.
The first few minutes, I thought they were really up for it, but then we just kind of came into our own, I thought, and then the whole of the rest of the first half, we just looked immense. But I would say we started off on the front foot after 3 or 4 minutes. For that first 3 minutes, I was not the most stable.
I think the first 5 minutes we got plenty. They got plenty of corners, didn't they? And then I think it was Norwood just really got a grip of the game. And then I think when we scored, I think you could physically see the confidence drain out of them. When Luton got that goal, you could see they were like, "Not again! Here we go!" And you could see that in their body language. And we took over. Probably should have scored again. We had the opportunities to, or we got in the right positions, I should say, to have made more of it. But we didn't press home the advantage as much as I'm sure in 2 months' time we would have done. So
it was I say they were very much a footballing team. They wanted to play football. Even the corners, they reluctantly always sort of doing short corners and I think the majority of them were short corners. They didn't want to put the ball into the area and try and challenge with height and stuff. So they were trying to do the right things. But like you say, we got control of the game. Ethan Pye came out of defence with the ball. Cracking through ball. It'll obviously be on his highlight reel for any clubs looking at him. To Jackie Diamond, took the ball, which I thought was amazing control of actually the ball because it wasn't an easy ball to control, and just basically early crossed it in for Carl Wotton to do what we want Carl Wotton to do: tap the 6-yard box, tap the ball, got something on it in the back of the net, and off we go again. At that point,
great goal. That ball off Pye just put another £1 million on his price tag.
Let's hope so.
Honestly, that's the stuff you see at high level. He just picked that out, and the ball's curling away as he's doing it because he's obviously it's like with the inside of his foot. It was inch perfect. Couldn't put that any better. So that's another £1 million on top of that, So, but thankfully he's going to be staying according to Chapman, so that's good.
No, I'm glad you guys brought that up because all the commentary I've seen about that goal has quite rightly talked about Diamond and talked about Wootton putting it away, but I've seen very little online about Pye's initial ball over, which I just thought was incredible. I saw that and I was like, even if this doesn't go anywhere, that is a fantastic ball. So I'm glad that's been mentioned, because I wanted to make sure that we gave him the applause for that.
Yeah. I've watched it on the YouTube a few times since, and you watch him and he's waiting, isn't he? And waiting, and you can see he spots a run, and I'm thinking, who's making a run? And then you see Jack Diamond come from quite deep, I think it was, and he pings his lovely ball over. But yeah, fantastic.
I was just sat there, I went, what a ball, like that. Yeah.
But same again. I always think Charlie's teams look best when we play three at the back, about having one of them central defenders carrying the ball, past the halfway line, instead of, we know about moving the ball, creating space, but I love it when one of them defenders just carries the ball out of that back three, and sort of then brings on the defender, and you pass around it and we're up the pitch. And everything that Challen has said is about, I get the feeling that we want, as a team, he wants us to play 10 yards further up the pitch this season compared to last season. And I think if you can get the defenders to carry that ball, we've seen it with the wing backs already, how much more positive they are when they get the ball. If there's space in front of them, both sides really. If there's nobody actually right in front of them, they're attacking that space and going forward and carrying the ball 10 yards, which, same again, is what we want to see. We want to, really exciting stuff to see. But from that first goal, it was just all dominance. Then Wootton scored that goal on 9 minutes, and I think for the rest of that first half, it was all County. Lauren, how did it come across to you on the TV? Was it total dominance from that Wootton goal?
Yeah, pretty much. There was, I'm not gonna it's the start of the season. There were things that I would still improve. I think we were quite sloppy in the middle of the pitch occasionally, and this might just be me picking things out, because I want to see Stockport play the best. But I thought there were a couple of times that we'd fail to get that second ball and a pass, but then we'd immediately close down Wycombe when they got it and immediately get it back. So it did just look like any time that we lost it, we were back on it immediately, very positive. There was a time where Wycombe really tried to press in the first half, and we managed to push them back really, really well defensively. They were trying to get into the box, and we managed to push them back to the halfway line, and they just couldn't find a way through. And it just looked like any time they thought of even getting a sniff at the ball, we were on them, we were closing it down. It did just look like we were all over them, basically. I was really impressed with the first half performance.
The press was really good. I think we got first half. We got it very, very right. Because obviously, press is a team thing. You can't just do it. One or two players. It has to be everybody. And so early in the season to be able to get that right. There's obviously some new players in there, different ways. It's important. And I thought we looked. I agree with you there, Lauren. I thought we looked really, really good in that first half.
Yeah, I've so for the standout plays for me that first half was obviously, I thought Joseph Luvu, same again, some glimpses of quality from him, but for me it was the Jack Diamond and Ollie Norwood show for that once we'd scored that goal for the rest of that first half.
Ollie Norwood took a right tackle, didn't he, in that first half?
Yeah.
There's no that. He went. I think he went to leave one on him. I don't think he's gone to break his leg, but he's definitely gone to leave one on him.
Yeah.
So Mox was good as well, though. But Moxon was fantastic. I think he was all game. The last couple of minutes when we got a bit sloppy, I thought Moxon was superb in there next to Noel.
Yeah. So second half comes. Probably for me, felt like it sort of came at the wrong time. I thought, we were completely on top, and if we carried on playing, we were going to win. Second half obviously comes along, managers to get him into the change room, and I thought Wycombe sort of came out. Obviously, not came out, but expected him to come out with, a kick up the arse and a little bit more fight and a little bit more tempo and a little bit more sort of trying to get back into the game. And I think we sort of managed that sort of first sort of 3-4 minutes of that second half quite well. We expected a raise in Wycombe's game, and they definitely brought a raise, and we sort of levelled it off, obviously, a little bit. How did you sort of see the start of the second half, Steve?
Yeah, pretty much as you say. I felt like they definitely came out with more purpose. You could see that, but I felt like from our point of view, it was a little bit continuation of the first half. Still getting a lot of the ball, still kind of pressing well, creating chances. And I thought even though Wycombe came out looking better, I thought we were still pretty much in control, or we were for the first 10 minutes or so anyway.
Yeah. Well, 51 minutes, 6 minutes into the second half, Jack Diamond sort of kicked off his season in style, really. What did you think? How did that look on the stream, Rolo? Did it look as good as what it did from the stand?
Yeah, I think he took the piss, personally. I think it's the sort of thing you do in training, if I'm honest with you. He just sort of stopped with the ball there, and I was waiting to go to the lad. Wait till see what I do here, boys, and then put it in the top corner. That's how good it was. But yeah, he took the piss out of the keeper there with that.
It was weird. It was right in front of us, wasn't it, Dan? Where we were sat, and he picked the ball up. Was it like 10 yards inside his own half? Ran all the way down, and I think it was Dodgson did a kind of overlap, and you thought he's just going to lay it off to Dodgson here. Then he hit it. I thought he'd hit it over, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's just an absolute world." It was amazing, and he celebrated right in front of us. It was just incredible.
It was definitely top bins, wasn't it? It was like a postage stamp right in that corner, and I don't think any goalkeeper would have saved it. But it was weird because, like I say, we've seen it before how County can speed up the play, but then they slow it right down, and that was the same. Jack Diamond, like you said, Rolo, basically stopped with the ball and went, "Okay, you move," and he picked his spot out. I think as soon as he stopped. Waited what it felt like an eternity. It was probably only 2 seconds, but it felt like he was sat there for 5 minutes. And like you say, no backlift, no real swing. He just, like you say, just like a effortless from him, really.
The only thing I would say is sorry, mate, in his defense. Sorry, I don't want to do Jack Diamond any injustice here because it was an amazing goal. But what were the defenders doing?
Yeah.
They didn't even put a foot in. It just did nothing.
Yeah.
I think they didn't kind of expect it. It's that sort of thing when when you're playing football yourself and you say to your mate, "I'm going to hit the crossbar from here. I'm going to do this from here." He just turned around to Dodgson and gone, "Watch this," like that, and then done it. And the defenders just sort of stood there going, "Go on then, see if you can." Yeah, and then walked off. That it kind of felt like that kind of goal. But the game at times, the amount of ball that we had, certainly the first half, it felt like a bit of a training game at times. We were that good on the ball.
Yeah. And at that point, 2-0 up, I'm thinking to myself, this could end up 4 and 5-0. We were absolutely dominant. Then 58 minutes came along. Wycombe made 4 substitutions, and I don't think we really touched the ball since after 58 minutes, to be honest. It was a complete it was a complete role reversal on everything, momentum, possession, you name it. The game went completely to Wycombe on 58 minutes. I know obviously in your review, Lauren, with a Wycombe fan, you talked about how the second half of Wycombe was a lot better, and when they made substitutions, they looked a lot better and a lot more purposeful. But I wasn't expecting that turnaround at all. I don't know what you guys were thinking.
Yeah, I don't know whether I expected as much of a turnaround, but I talked with the Wycombe fans before the game, and they were saying that they've got completely new players, a massive overhaul of the team, and they're trying to all gel. So I assumed that they would grow into the game a lot more than I assumed they would start the game in less of a good front, purely because most of their players are brand new, trying to get back into it. I was surprised at how big of a change it was just from the 4 substitutions. I would have thought that maybe we would have kept a bit more of possession and strength, but I did expect them to get better as the game went on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if they changed the formation or anything. I've actually no idea. I mean, they brought on 4 players, didn't they? One was Kone, their big kind of marquee player. And then I think the other 3 were all midfielders. I don't know if they're attacking midfielders or what. But whatever they did, it just completely put us on the back foot, didn't it? And I don't know, had Alowu gone off at this point, or was he still on the pitch? I can't remember.
He
went
was. He was, I believe, he was still on the pitch. So we made our Bailey came on and Lowe came on the 65th minute. And so obviously they've changed on 58 minutes. They've made 4 subs. And like you say, an instant impact because at 60 minutes, they get a penalty. Same again. It's a bit hard, obviously, because we were sat away from it. It looks soft, but I think if it's one of them ones looking at the replay on streams that if he's got hold of his arm and pulled him down, then you're running the risk, aren't you, to giving a penalty away. But yeah, it's 60 minutes. They get that penalty, and yeah, sort of like watching then between your fingers as they step up, expecting it to go in the back of the net. And to be honest, it was like watching the Women's Euros again with penalties, wasn't it? It was probably, and the same again if you've watched.
Quarterfinal. You're referring to the quarterfinal, aren't you?
Yeah, and if you're watching, obviously the Charity Shield today, Liverpool and Palace, there was some sort of awful penalties again in that match. It's the art of taking penalties seems to be sort of disappearing, and yeah, I didn't think it was a good penalty. I don't know what it looked like to you guys.
I personally thought it was a fantastic penalty because it missed. It got been an awful penalty. Listen, he's just hit it too well, hasn't he? You know, it's he's tried to put it too far in, but then, you know, to be fair, Adai went the wrong way, but I still think he had it covered with his feet. So it was you know. It was from a Wycombe perspective, a poor penalty. From my perspective, I think it was a fantastic penalty. So well done to that boy.
And it went out for a goal kick. That was bizarre.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of rebounded off the post and went across the goal line. Out looked like it was going to go the corner flag, and then went out for a goal kick.
Yeah.
Did anybody see the aftermath of some media reporter complaining that the penalty should have been retaken because Corey Adai was standing behind his line? Have you seen that going on?
Yeah, I mean,
he does do that.
Yeah,
he does. He likes to take a step. I think the ruling is that he has to have a foot on the line when the ball is kicked.
Yeah, the ruling is very weird. Actually, if you read it, it's kind of debatable what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah,
it's not clear.
Yeah, so I think I always understand that they have to. You know, they can move left and right. They can move up and down, but as long as they've got a foot on the line when the penalty taker kicks the ball, then it's a legitimate.
Yeah, there's something else that says when on the lead up to the penalty, they had the goalkeeper has to be on his line, but then it's kind of contradicted a little bit by the fact you can have a foot behind the line. It's a bit weird, but there's people on. If you have a look on Twitter, there's some media guys going on about it saying it should have been retaken, and he was referring back to the Wycombe game last season when Corey did the same thing. All a bit sad, to be honest, but you know,
I mean, ultimately, it didn't change the outcome of that penalty, did it? You know, Adai was, you know, he was nowhere near it. So, you know, get on with the game. I to be honest with you, it's just another rule that doesn't make sense. And it's like the handball and offside. You know, I'll give up at sort of top level football, trying to understand what that actually means.
So we move on. Obviously, at that point, I think, like I say, there was quite a lot of dominance from Wycombe. They obviously get that goal back on the 74th minute. I thought it was actually quite a good goal. They sort of were not playing football. I'm a bit disappointed with Moxon. I think it was Moxon. They sort of lost the ball. It was
he did, but it was. I mean, he was right in the touchline, quite a way up the pitch. I know what you're saying. He did lose the ball, but it was. I don't know, it was a 50-50. It was the bit after that bothered me.
Yeah. Well, we got at that stage of the game, that you say 50-50s, I just felt that we weren't winning the 50-50s we were doing. And it was not just Moxon, there was quite a few players that just felt that we weren't just winning. They were getting to the ball quicker than us. They were just a little bit more wanting it, a bit more than us. And like I say, they were just keeping the ball. We get the ball back, couldn't string 3 passes together. And at that point, obviously, I felt we were sort of holding on, I think, a little bit for them last 10 minutes of the game.
You could say that.
Yeah.
So, like we said before, obviously Lowe came on for Aluru. Obviously, we've changed a little bit. I think we're on to a back four then. Bailey's come on for Camps. Same again. I think Camps just hit a wall really at 60 minutes, and you could see that his legs and fatigue and stuff like that. Same again. It's early in the season. Expect them minutes in the legs to build up, and the stamina in the players to be sort of a lot better as the month goes on. Same again. I think it was harsh. Both subs that came on, I just felt that they were a bit on a hiding to nothing at that point because, like I say, Wycombe were the dominant team in that at that point in the game, and Lowe looked a little bit faster, I would say, than what he did against Bolton. A couple of runs into the channel that he sort of looked a lot quicker and a lot sharper from the previous week. But Bailey, same again. I think they were just running sort of passes around him, circles around him, not just him, but obviously Moxon and Norwood at that point. So I think there was a bit of a hiding to nothing. How was it, Rolo? What was it sort of looking like? Were you sort of hiding behind the sofa at this point?
Yeah, pretty much. The TV got a good shouting at. It was. I'd be honest with you. We just lost complete control of the game. We couldn't get out, and I think you got to give Wycombe massive credit there because they just stepped on us. We were knackered. I mean, Connolly, Jesus Christ, I thought he was going to pass out at one point. He was that knackered.
He puts it on the line, doesn't he? He really.
Yeah, he put a shift in that lad. Fair play, but. We look dead on our feet at times, and I don't, we've had a weird pre-season. I'm not used to a pre-season like this, so maybe it'll benefit us in the long run in terms of how it's doing. But it was definitely a fitness issue for me on Saturday. We didn't look, we looked tired, but we're an intense team, aren't we? So it's working hard, I suppose, is the thing.
At that point, it was crying out for Danny Andrews to come on the pitch, though, wasn't it? We needed that extra kind of defender.
Yeah,
and he came on messing about him. Just give him a year contract now, and I've done with it. He's come on and affected 2 games positively. I'm done. That's it. He can get the year.
Yeah, I mean, he came on obviously for Jack Diamond and near the end, the 87th, 88th minute of the game, and same again.
That late?
That late.
It's that late. Wow.
Well, we did have. Was it the fashion at the moment? Was it 7 or 8 minutes of injury time at the end of the game?
7, but it ended up being 10, didn't it?
Yeah. So there's still a lot of obviously time to play, but yeah, it just seemed like I said the whole team really, like I say, they just sort of all hit the wall at the same time, and it was just felt that we're hanging on, and and they'll talk about resilience and determination and team building, but we've 2 games where we say we haven't seen the best version of us yet. But we've won 2 games. Winning is a habit. And like I say, we're in that good habit of winning, games that some will say we don't have no right to win or we were lucky to win. But, there was another club that managed to get promotion last season that made a whole season of winning games they didn't deserve to win. So, if it gets us promotion at the end of the season, I'm over the moon, me.
Yeah, and I think, we've just took 6 out of 6 points, which is phenomenal, to be honest, against, let's be honest, 2 teams that are probably going to be up there at the end of the season. So that's 6 big points. But you're looking at the team and you're looking, we're way for thin in terms of squad at the moment. We've got so many players coming back soon. We're only probably at 60% capability at the moment. And you just know he's going to get, Charlie will get better and better every single week. We'll get stronger and stronger. And it's just a fantastic start, really, and to win those games, being in the squad in the state it is. The fact yesterday we needed, ideally, you would have brought a right-sided defender on when Lowe went off. That's what we needed, but we didn't have that. Yeah. So we had to tweak that by bringing Danny Andrew on, who did a great job. But normally you'd have that replacement, whether that be Hoskinen, whether that's Tyler Onyango if he comes in, whether it's Mingy when he's fit. And we just haven't got the benefits of that at the moment. So to take the 6 points out of those 2 games, phenomenal effort, really is.
Yeah.
The thing is, good teams win games when they're playing well. Great teams win games when they're not playing well. So That's the difference.
Yeah, and like I say, winning is a habit, and like I say, we've picked that habit up early. Obviously, we got I think a hard game in the Carabao Cup against Crewe because they're on a bit of a good form on Tuesday night. So same again. Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what plays that Challoner puts out for us. Does he give people sort of minutes? Like I say, I was not disappointed, but obviously I was hoping to see Mothers Hill come on the pitch. I felt that sort of 70 minutes, 75 minutes, the game was sort of crying out for him, some sort of pacing behind, because we just didn't seem to have an out ball. And it weren't sticking, and they were pushing up the pitch quite a lot. And I just felt that if we had somebody that could just run in behind, and we got the quality of Norwood just to ping the ball into certain areas and go and chase it, get us up the pitch. So obviously, like you say, he must be carrying a knock or a little injury or something for him not to sort of get that run out. But like you say, it's still early on in the season. And yeah, it is exciting without getting sort of biggish or cocky with it all. I'm positive, really. I'm positive this season.
Well, we're going to get better, aren't we? And I must admit, Tuesday, I think he's going to start low, isn't he? I think he's pretty much said that in his post match. But I'd quite like to see him play that Allen.
Yeah, I would.
That young,
he looks good, doesn't
he looked, yeah, against Hull. I know it's only a friendly, but he come on and looked direct. He looked like he's got a trick in him. And he's the sort of player that is going to thrive in a good team that are playing well, that are winning games and getting him bloody early.
I went to Salford the night before, and he played that game as well. I don't know if you know, he played both games. And he was
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we played 2 games within about 15 hours of each other. And he was good at Salford as well. He really looked the part. And in the warm-up, because they were doing the warm-up before the game right in front of where we stood, his finishing was superb. And I believe when he came on against Hull, I believe the Hull fans were giving us right abuse and really trying to get, on his back. They were saying all sorts, like singing songs directed at him. And the lad's 17 years old.
Yeah.
And took it in his stride, and he did a great job because he came from Rangers, I believe. I think we took him from Rangers, didn't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting prospect.
Yeah, definitely.
Got to give him game time, haven't you? That's how you get him ready. I'm not saying he's going to play every week or start every week, but I'd have loved for us to have been 4-0 up yesterday and then get him on the pitch. Yeah. You know what I mean? For the 10 minutes, just come on and go and run at county fans. Go and enjoy yourself. Obviously, that was the case.
After 51 minutes, it felt like it was going to be a 4-0 up job, and it did feel like that. To be honest. Yeah, I'm thinking, I'll get low on now at 55 minutes, get him run out. I'm thinking, like you say, get these players on. Let's see what they're about, because this is going to be. They look like their heads are completely gone once that second goal in. They were absolutely looking not at each other. Every single Wycombe player was looking at the floor. There was no passion. There was no accountability. There was no finger pointing. They just looked absolutely defeated. And like I say, I didn't even hear the Wycombe lot make a noise until they got a penalty. It was like I say, it was a bit of a weird one. They're going about, like I say, it's a new team and stuff like that. New manager, get behind your team. They don't get behind their team at all. I felt, and not saying that they lost because the fans don't get behind them, but as Challoner say, the fans play a part. The fans get the players going. Yes, the players need to obviously get the fans going as well, but there's a relationship there that obviously benefits both. And like I say, they were just a bit of a weird one, I thought.
I don't think they quite have the relationship with the manager, do they? I think I've read some of the Wycombe stuff and their forum, and I don't think they're overly keen on. Is it Dodds? Is it their manager? From what I can gather, I mean, listen, I don't know a great deal about Wycombe for any Wycombe fans that are listening to this, but that's my understanding of it, that they're not really impressed with this manager. They weren't last season after obviously they lost Bloomfield. He's come in. He's obviously was he up at Sunderland, I think, wasn't he, as an assistant or something?
Yeah, I think on the match preview show with you, Lauren, I think the guy was talking about that, wasn't he? And I think they had a bit of a poor record at the end of last season, which they seem to have carried on, something like that.
Yeah, he came in whilst the team was doing pretty well because there was change of ownership, so the team was not on bad form, and then he came in and just they weren't doing horrendous. They just weren't. It was no better, and the form did go down a little bit, and so the fans are sort of going, well, he's no improvement. We're not doing very well. Obviously, they ended up losing a load of their last games. I think they hadn't won a home game since the middle of April or something like that.
Yeah.
And so there's quite a lot of fans that basically like, we don't back him. We don't have a lot of faith in him. Adam, who we interviewed, was saying that we need to give him a bit more time. Obviously, new team, new players, see what he can do with them. But there does seem to be an air of maybe not mistrust, but just they don't really have a lot of faith in him at the moment. Maybe he'll turn it around, but yeah, that was kind of the vibe I got from.
Yeah, you
from
can
the
see if
guys
they
at
get a
Wycombe.
few more bad results, they'll be getting on his back, won't they?
Yeah, they said like it might turn toxic quite quickly. Was
Yeah.
I think what was said.
Which I think it'd be a shame because you could see that they're trying to play football. You could see at points that, a lot of midfield runners, stuff like that. Obviously, they've got issue with obviously Kone, their best player. Is he going? Is he staying? I think they need to resolve that. If he's going, get rid of him. Don't have him involved. If he's staying, then he needs to be involved because he makes things tick for them. So, yeah, it's a bit of a weird because I thought they played good football at times, and like I say, I think it's early on. I think if they can get it together, it wouldn't surprise me they're one of them teams that sort of get into the last couple of playoff places, or they do have that good run that everyone's looking behind their shoulder, to sort of get that last playoff place. So yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. So, man of the match, guys. Who was your man of the match?
That's a good question. I think for me, I was very impressed with, again, Moxon, Norwood, people like that. Connolly just puts it on the line for me, which is amazing. But on the game yesterday, I think you've got to give it Jack Diamond. I mean, I thought he's running off the ball was superb. He's so quick. He's anticipating stuff. He's winning balls in midfield and then driving it down the pitch, which releases the pressure. And just for that run on 8 minutes or whatever it was when he went through two players and put it over, then he's setting up Woods for the first goal, and then his solo wonder goal. For me, Diamond.
Yeah, I think it might be an easy shout to say Diamond. I'm probably going to follow suit. I think we looked really strong on our left side. I thought, especially in the first half, I thought our left side just looked incredible. The matchup between them, they looked just like they understood each other. They knew where they were putting the balls just every time the ball got to the player. And I just think Diamond, even when he wasn't getting those, getting the great assist and the actual goal, I just think that he was constantly making positive moves and didn't really see him make that many mistakes in the game. So I was very impressed with Diamond.
Go on,
I think because you've both gone for Jack Diamond, I'm now not going to go for Jack Diamond,
Nice.
even though he was absolutely incredible, fantastic yesterday. I think the other two real standouts for me were Pye and Moxon, and just for that ball, I'm going to give it to Ethan because it was just that was England quality. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
Pye.
Yeah, it's the same again. I'm seeing improvements all across the pitch. I thought, like I say, Corey Adai looked this time last year was what I'm comparing him to. He looks so much better. Corey does. Joseph Lulu, first time he's kicked a ball in God knows how many months. Same again. We knew he was going to hit a wall. We knew he was going to look rusty, but we're seeing good signs of quality. O'Keefe and Dodgson look like they've been with us for 2-3 seasons. It's same again. You wouldn't have think these lads have just come into the team. They look like they've been with us for 12 months last season. So
upgrades as well, aren't they? They really are upgrades.
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, it puts just a little bit of faith in what Simon Wilson and Challoner and everybody else that's doing part of the recruitment team are doing. When we're out in Pinatar, I think it was Steve Bellis said that they actually have in the recruitment team. They have an NDH policy for recruitments, which is no dickheads. That is the policy. They don't sign dickheads. I'm sure it was rather at the fans forum event in Pinatar. I'm sure it was Bellis that said it, or it might have been Challoner. But yeah, there is an NDH policy at the club. So as we've seen before with Andrew, that same again, he had something. He might be 34, but as Challoner has mentioned in his pre-match interview, that it's not just what he does on the pitch, but what he actually offers round the training, Carrington and stuff like that. So yeah, I couldn't argue with Diamond, to be honest. 1 assist, 1 goal of the season contender. And like I say, we're improving. We're not seeing the best version by any standard, I think. We're not debating that we weren't maybe a little bit fortunate to get 3 points in both of the previous 2 games. But like you said, good teams win when they're on top. Great teams win when they don't deserve to get anything out of the game. So yeah, no, apart from that, the only last question I've got for you guys before we disappear: green shirt, yay or nay?
It's a nay for me. Sorry, it's been a very, very popular shirt, but I'm not a fan. I don't dislike it. Don't get me wrong. I don't dislike the shirt, but I'm not going buying it. It's just so. It's a no for me.
Go on, Rolo. Go on, Loz.
Go on, Loz.
Go on. I really like it I like it as an idea. The issue is my German team is Werder Bremen, who also have a diamond crest, and it's the exact same green. So it just reminds me too much of a Bremen shirt, and
not enough county.
It's lovely, but I wouldn't get it purely because it's too much like Werder Bremen shirt.
I must admit though, it's to wear. It's really quite. Out of all the shirts that we've got, I think this is actually the nicest one. It's like it feels like a different material. It feels more sort of silky and stuff like that. So to wear, especially yesterday in the heat, it felt a lot cooler to wear. So yeah, wearing it feels nice. Like you say, I completely agree. I think it just lacks a little bit of an Easter egg, more of a county thing on it, opposed to obviously the retro badge and stuff like that. But just something else that was a little bit unique to it that make it more county. Go on, Rolo. Are you going out and buying it?
Do you know the thing is, I probably will. Not that I'm a massive fan of it. I think I'm gonna, bald fella dressed up in a green shirt. I look like a fucking walking cucumber. So yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't have gone. I think I wouldn't have gone with white with it. I'd have gone with colour with it. Over there, so we've had green and yellow in the past. I think that would have been, would have felt a bit more county-esque to me. But no doubt I'll end up buying it, or someone will end up getting it for Christmas. But I think along those.
Yeah, me too, probably.
Yeah.
I said I wasn't getting the yellow one last season. I ended up with the yellow one.
So you can go from big Rolo to garden pea.
Exactly. Yeah. A walking cucumber. Yeah. Well, you see, that's it. With no hair. You see, this is what happens. Yeah. But yeah, no, I've got the home shirt and I like the home shirt. And I'd quite like blue and white the other way around, like a sort of retros 96 kit. But yeah, I like that one. The second one, I'd have preferred if it was black and white. I think that would have looked better. I think the fact that we've got a blue and white home kit and then a blue and white away kit's a bit odd. But maybe that's just me.
It's funny though, isn't it? I mean, it's just personal taste at the end of the day. I love the blue and white away kit. I think it's one of the best kits we've had. And then you ask the next person and they don't like the blue and white kit, they love the green one. And it's just, I think they've covered all bases, haven't they?
I'll put a caveat with the striped away kit that it needs a name and number on the back of the shirt, because you've got that big patch on the back.
Yeah.
Toby's had a name and number put on the back of that. Which is quite funny as well. So he's gone for Anderson 22 on the back. So when we were up last week for the Bolton game, we asked them in the club shop, are they keeping a tally on, who's having the most names printed on? Because you think sometimes players a little bit competitive and stuff like that and want to know who's having it. They said at the club shop that the one that's winning the race at the moment is Anderson. that's winning the race because his dad comes in every week and orders like 10, 15 shirts to send back home with Anderson 22 printed on the back. So he said that Anderson is winning the race by miles. But obviously, Bate and Diamond Norwood are obviously up there as well. So yeah, like I say, it's like most things. I hate the fact that we release free kits. I won't go on about it, but it's one of my big bugbears always that we have to change free kits every season. I end up buying free kits every season. Toby, my lad, ends up buying free kits every season. It is what it is.
It, but you understand why they do it.
Yeah, it's they have your hotline and sinker. You moan about it, then you see it. Then you see it in real life. You go into the club shop. You go, I'm not going to buy it, and then you walk out with a bag with a shirt in it.
Yeah.
It's like I said I weren't going to buy this, and you've then up got it. So that's how it works for me.
Like going food shopping hungry, innit? You know, it's just going there to go to the 5 and come out spending 50 quid.
Well, yeah, you pop into the supermarket for some milk and some bread, and you come out 2 bags later, which is like you say, 50 quid now in it for 2 bags of shopping of stuff that you didn't need or didn't want. You only wanted milk and bread. So yeah, that's what it is. So that's obviously the Wycombe game wrapped up. Next game, obviously, for County will be Tuesday night in the Carabao Cup. Are you guys going? Obviously, Lauren's obviously based in London. I'm not going, even though my lad Toby's travelling up on train via a change at Sheffield and getting off at Brennington for the game because he's obviously on school holidays. So I can't go for work. Doesn't mean that he can't. He gets up and goes now. He's sort of 15 and quite happy to travel on the train on himself for the game. Are you going, Rolo and Steve?
Yeah, so I've actually got a guest going with me, someone that I work with who is not a football fan, or as he calls it, a soccer fan. Now you'd think using that he's probably from somewhere around the North America area. He's not. He's Irish, and he's someone that I work with, and he's forever calling it soccer. So he's big into his hurling and his Gaelic football. So I've said no, you can come and watch a proper sport and come and watch this. So I am bringing him along, and then taking him to Our Ladies for a swift half before the game.
Nice. Yeah, they've got Guinness on in Our Ladies, haven't they? Oh
yeah, they've got it all. Yeah, it's a good little pub. That good little pub, especially in the winter because you have you eating on all the way around. The summer it's horrible, but in the winter it's delightful.
Yeah, I'll be going as well. Yeah, 100%. No way I'm missing it.
Have you got your season ticket seat, or have you actually gone for? Because it's a little bit weird, Andy, with the seats, Andy.
Well, but they put them. So when they went on sale, they just released all of them because I think have they swapped one of the stands around or something? Have they given crew the family stand or something like that? So they seem to just release all the seats. So I'm there or thereabouts when I normally say I'm not bothered. Yeah. As long as I've got a seat and I can see the game, I don't mind.
So our season tickets are in lower tier 4, but Toby's actually gone for one of the safe standing seats in, I think, upper tier 1.
Yeah, I've done that with my son. Exactly the same. I saw the opportunity to get him in there, so I'll put him in one of them.
Yeah, so he's gone to see how that is. Same again, he loves, obviously, being around Andy as well, doing all the singing and stuff like that. So he'll be hunting out Andy on Tuesday night to get near him because he loves, like I say, same again. I think with, like I say, teenagers, when they get involved in the singing and the drumming and all that lot, it really gives him that connection with the club and stuff. And like you say, it's a little bit harsh for him because obviously we're so far away from Stockport. But yeah, when he gets the opportunity to sort of get involved like that, he's going to grab it. So yeah, so obviously the next show will be Wednesday night with the guys. I'm sure they'll be thinking another shit quiz to sort of get through the thing, which is, like I say, it's not the quiz, it's the participation. It's the funny part of it and not remembering what the rules are. Obviously, Loz, you've got another preview
there will
show
be a preview show coming out Thursday evening sometime. Hopefully about 8 o'clock. Fingers crossed. That will be a preview show on Thursday.
And that will be for the Burton game. Not the Burton game, sorry. Orient game. I'd lose the plot now. Yes, away at Leyton Orient on Saturday. I'll be there for that one. Obviously, your review show will be out with Leyton Orient as well, which will be the same again. If you've not listened to Loz's review preview shows. Kind of get review and preview.
Please come and check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Really nice chats, and find out more about what the opposition is doing, really opposed to what County's doing. It's all about the opposition, and you sort of get a good insight of what to expect for game day. Because like I say, I think the story of Saturday's game against Wycombe is very much the sort of tale that the Wycombe guest actually sort of painted out, really, and you guys talked about. It was a sort of like came true, the sort of the tale that you said.
Yeah, and hearing about sort of some of the off pitch stuff can help contextualize the game as well. So I think that's quite nice.
Yeah, cool. Right, thank you very much, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and you all right, Rolo?
Yeah, sorry, that coffee went down the wrong way there. Trying not to joke on screen.
I know your pain, mate. I had a tickle in my throat last week when we were in the stands, which was I'll say again, thanks to everybody at County and Liam Richardson for that opportunity. It was really, really good and really good, kind of them. So, thank you very much for listening in. We'll catch you all later. So for now, cheers and goodbye.
Yeah, have a good week, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.